see, we can talk this again.
Okay, now I can see we're live. We're good.
All right.
Okay. Well, hi everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Let's Get Real with 520 East Brands. We've had a few technical difficulties this morning, so thanks for bearing with me as I am still definitely learning my way. Gramercy would like to say hello. So welcome back. Today, I'm going to start with just a brief introduction. First, I'm going to close my doors. We're being real here, right? That's what this is all about. First, I'm going to start with a brief introduction. You know, last week we kind of dove right into who I am and what I do. We're going to ignore the dog. I thought putting it in her crate would keep her quiet, but I guess not. So I'm Shane, and I own 520 East Brands. I've been in business since 2008, and I own a social media engagement company. So what does that mean? That means that we create real human voices and human personas for the brands we represent. So in most cases, we'll take over their voice on social, we'll create an entire persona, and we'll carry it out for them online. We also work with companies who have a marketing person but need some help with best practices. So if you are in need of that kind of marketing help, let us know. So again, like I said, I developed this in 2008, sort of out of a need, and I wasn't alone. I met today's guest online. I think we met on Twitter, but might have met on Facebook. I can't remember. So Stephanie White founded LouisvilleFamilyFun.net in 2009. She had two very young children at the time, and she was new to Louisville. They had just moved here from North Carolina, and she couldn't find a consolidated place online to find fun activities to do with her young children. So like any entrepreneur, she said, well, I'll just create it. So today we are going to learn just how she did that. So please help me welcome my guest, Stephanie White. Hi, Steph.
Hello.
So good to see you. Thanks for bearing with me this morning. As I am learning, I know that you are the most patient teacher, so I very much appreciate you.
I believe that people learn the most when they struggle. So if there's, that is a firm belief of mine. So you will, any technical difficulties you have will only make you better at this.
Thanks, Steph. I appreciate you so much. Okay, so we're going to go back in time, back to 2009. You had just moved here, and like I said, you couldn't find anything fun to do with your kids, and so you decided to create Louisville Family Fun. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you did that, why you did that, and how you got started?
Yeah, my dog's here wanting to join too.
Monday's gone to the dog.
I know, it's been crazy. So in 2009, when I moved here, it actually was that there was a lot of stuff to do, but the problem was like I was spending too much trying to find it, so much time trying to find it. And I decided, well, like I could do that, you know, I could provide that service for people. And so we, another mom and I started a Google Calendar, and then we used the website to share that Google Calendar with the world. And so that's pretty much the focus that it started with, in order to just kind of make finding fun easier for parents, so that you're not online all the time. You just have one place, you go there and you pick something to do. And that was kind of the vision for it. I had no experience in this realm, but I figured it out and made it work, and it's still going today.
Awesome. And what was sort of the first milestone you had when you knew, wow, I really have something here?
Well, there was a business that came to me, another entrepreneurial woman. She said, hey, can I advertise on your website? And I had to go to my husband and say, like, hey, like this could be a business, you know, because as a stay-at-home mom, and I always wanted to contribute financially to my family. And I said, well, I might be able to make a business out of this. And so I figured I must have something if somebody wants to advertise through it. And I didn't even solicit that advertising. So I figured it out, and I decided to make it a business rather than just, you know, something I wanted to do as a hobby. And so I set it up as a business. I mean, I knew nothing. I didn't even know how much to charge that person. I didn't even know how to place an ad. So when they came and asked me, I had to figure that out. Like, do I know how to do that? Can I figure that out? And if I can, then I can charge them for it. And then maybe I should set up an LLC and stuff like that. So that's kind of where it went from there. I would say it didn't become like the business still for a while, because I had to figure all that out.
And when you were creating it, I know you started using social pretty soon after you launched it. So you had to create a voice. Did you create that from your voice, or do you think it was more of an amalgam of like who you thought would be in your audience?
Well, I had to get to know the audience, and then I used my voice to I don't want to just say like feed them what they wanted to hear, but it was my authentic voice, but I learned what they wanted to know. What information did they want to know? And so then I would use me, my kids, make it real to generate the content that I knew was interesting to them, so that engagement was like they wanted to keep coming back to see what we were doing next or to get our opinions on things.
Sure. And over the years, you've added writers to your team, and you've added other locations as well. I know you've got Kentucky Family Fun, Shelby County Family Fun, and Oldham Family Fun. So as you've done that, how have you been able to scale it and still keep it authentic, still keep a true voice to those locations and those brands?
Well, the only ones that Oldham, I've been able to scale, and mostly because it's people. I have Nicole on that website, and she's committed. Her family's in Oldham County. They share content all the time, and they know what's going on. So it's all about the people. It's kind of like my authentic voice is Louisville Family Fun. I didn't want my voice everywhere. To spread out. And so if you find the right people, then you can make it work. And then as a business, sometimes scaling doesn't work. So some of the other websites have become websites, and they're still updated in there, but they're not they're not the focus of the business.
Right. Okay. And so I know that there's kind of a boundary. You post often as yourself, but also you've got Louisville Family Fun. I know you've also got groups on Facebook where you've got people really, really engaged. How do you really create a boundary, or are you that authentic and real that there is no border between Stephanie and the brand?
There's definitely a border. I constantly think of my brand that I've created and what people expect. I have a boundary. They know my personality. They know my family. I don't share, say, as much whether it be political, religious, or any of those kind of like topics that are a little bit harder to navigate. I share some, but I don't think that's what people expect from Louisville Family Fun. And so I do it in a way that I share myself and my opinions in a way that I feel is related to the brand, but I always consider the brand and the focus of the brand when I'm doing that. Now in groups, I engage more as myself sometimes than the brand, because I think that's the way groups go. But on the actual business page, there's a difference between Stephanie and Louisville Family Fun. There's still something separating us there.
Yeah. Okay, so not to get too technical, but let's go back again in time. You've got this blog. I think you launched on Blogspot, which a lot of bloggers did. And you learned, I have this vivid memory of you when you were switching from like a server to another server. And it was kind of like, I'm just going to close my eyes and press this button and hope this works. Talk a little bit about that fear and how you've overcome it or learned to deal with it, and how you've taught yourself everything there is to know about Google, to the point that I can Google almost any event, facility, venue, function in the area of Louisville, and Louisville Family Fun comes up before their website. How'd you do it?
How'd you do it? Magic. No, I mean, part of it is like, I don't give up. I'm very persistent. So if there's, for a while, like you said, with Blogspot, I knew I had to get off of Blogspot. And because to grow the business, I had to go to WordPress. It just, things shift. In 5 years, I might have to shift to something else. And so that was very scary because you had years of content. So that's what I was shifting from. And then you're trying to, turn it all to a whole different interface. And you don't know if you're going to lose all that. Because like you said, you Google kids eat free, you Google where to go swimming. All these things showed up. I didn't know if I would be disrupting the SEO, and that's what drives the business. It's 75% of the traffic. So I did it one day, and I remember I was on the phone, with the company that, owns the domain and was walking me through this. And I had never done this before. I was sweating. I thought I was going to throw up. I mean, the whole week, I pretty much set up a whole week where I'm like, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to, I'm like grabbing the desk, and it was traumatic. But at the end of it, I was like, I did that. That's a big deal. People pay people to do this, and I figured it out all by myself. This is amazing. And it wasn't without kinks, but I did it,
Right.
And so I think all of those things, there are some times in businesses where you say, I'm going to outsource this. I should outsource this, something like, you get hired to do sometimes for businesses. But there are other things where I'm like, I want to learn this. I want to be able to do this. So you take that risk, and then with that risk, there's reward. And so you learn something. And like I said, with scaling, I took risks in scaling, and some of those didn't work, but I learned something. And so I definitely see that there's huge in taking those risks, learning something, growing your mind around your business so that you understand more aspects of it. And you just have more power.
Right. That's a good point. No one's going to nurture your business the way you are. Right. Okay. So talking about learning new things and adding to your repertoire, I know that you have gone back to school to get a PhD. I tell friends, my friend Stephanie, she's going to teach teachers to teach better. So tell me a little bit about that. Why'd you do it? How's it going? And what's the end goal? And do you think that the things you're learning in your program have anything to do with Louisville Family Fun, or are they completely separate?
Well, I'll start with that question because I've always thought of myself as a teacher. I am a teacher. I was born to be a teacher, and I teach through Louisville Family Fun. It's just been another venue for 11 years to teach people, fun ways to make memories with your family. So I always view that as teaching. And then through my business, I love to help people. And so that's teaching, with whatever I've learned, I want to pass that on. And so I was always a teacher. Unfortunately, when I moved to Louisville, that's a long story, but they would not transfer my license. Okay.
Right.
So that's when I started Louisville Family Fun, and I capitalized on, doing that. And for 11 years, I've had this blessing of a business that allows me to be home with my kids, do fun things with my kids, and then share about it online and have a career through that. And I've learned so much that I think when I am done with my PhD, I will be able to use. There are people in my program, professors, they don't know how to mobilize social media and create engagement online like I do. And so I think I can use that. But basically in 2018, I had this epiphany that I love Louisville Family Fun, but it is not what I intended to do with my life. And I have this the person in my brain saying, Stephanie, you have to follow your dream. And so I decided to take a huge risk by dedicating so much time to going back to full-time to get a PhD in curriculum and instruction in STEM education. My focus will be on math teachers. So I will be a teacher educator at a university. So training new teachers, but then I also want to be out in the field with teachers that are in practice, teaching them to teach better. I care very much about equity in math education. And so I think I'll be able to convey those messages in a different way because I have this experience through Louisville Family Fun, and I know how to use social media to use podcasts or video or whatever it may be, because I've been out of the classroom and out of education for a decade.
Awesome. That's great. Okay, so last question. I know that you're out there looking at lots of other social things online. We share a lot of what we see. What do you think companies could quickly improve upon as they are building their voice and trying to be real? What are some of the things that you see that they really shouldn't be doing that online if they want to be successful?
Well, it's just like when you and I would work together with people, a quick audit of your Facebook page or your Twitter or your Instagram, whatever it may be, to make sure that all your links work, that you're current. Because if you're not current, people are going to leave. If people go seeking information and they go to your about page, but then that website URL is old, they're gone. They're going to go use another business. So that is a very quick thing to do. Audit everything. You'd be amazed at how many people forget about their about page, and it's totally not correct. And so go and fix those things. And another quick thing is to think about the images that people use on their website, because if you post without images, your reach is just not going to be as much. You're not going to be as engaging. People love seeing images. And so making sure that those are authentic and how you're going to do that for your brand without overusing stock images or using the same image over and over. Coming up with authentic ways to share images and following the rules. Just follow the rules. Follow the rules.
Exactly.
Okay. Because that's authentic, right? That's keeping it real. You don't want to engage people in a way that's against the rules, forcing people to tag, forcing people to share, whatever that may be, because that's forcing people to engage in your brand rather than them engaging in your brand. Your brand is so awesome.
Right.
Yeah. Stephanie, so rules, people. I love the rules.
Thank you. I know you do. She loves the rules. Thank you so much for coming on here today. And, you've been not just a friend, but definitely a teacher to me through the years. I'm currently sharing on screen how to get in touch with you. Of course, LouisvilleFamilyFun.net. You can also find Stephanie on Instagram and Twitter at LouFamFun, or you can find her on Facebook at Louisville Family Fun. Thank you for all you've done for me, but also really what you've done for our community and making sure that we know what fun there is to do. And especially in times like these, it's harder and harder to find some fun for families. So thanks for putting it out there and making it real. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. And I'll keep doing it even when I'm Dr. White.
Thank you. All right. Well, thanks for coming on the show. I'm going to finish up and then I will be in touch and talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. So there you have it. How to stay real, how to keep things going, how to face your fears. Do it. It's going to be a great year. We're all going to do it. I'm doing it right now. Had some technical difficulties this morning, but I'm working through it. You can find me at 520eastbrands.com if you would like to be a guest on our show. You can also tweet me at 520eastbrands. Just let me know if you know someone who would make a great guest and you want to talk about how to keep it real. Let me know. In the meantime, keep it real yourself. Don't go out there and post a bunch of stock photos like Stephanie said. Make it fun, make it real, make it you, and make it a great week. Talk to you soon, everyone. Thanks for joining.